Hello, my friends. Today is the first public lecture. Our guest is Despoina Limniotaki. She is a psychologist, founder of the social cooperative business The Healing Tree on mental health. She has worked with groups against stereotypes and racism with a view to developing programs for socially vulnerable populations. She has also worked as an instructor for civil protection groups, teaching skills and techniques for psychological first aid in the cases of crisis and natural disaster. Hello, Mrs. Limniotakis. Thank you so much for being here today with us. It's really an honor to have you. And the topic that you will give us your lecture is very, very interesting because right now everybody is locked in the house, especially in Greece, and his psychological situation is really very bad. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you, Evie. Thank you for inviting me to your show. It's a great honor and certainly a great opportunity for us to talk about relationships and the way we form bonds and we approach each other these days, because I believe that relationships, second to our health and hygiene, suffer the most during the pandemic. So I understand that there are pressing concerns to people. For example, they care about their loved ones and about loss. And there are many families who have lost their loved one, or even our family may have experienced mourning or has lost someone close. But for the living, there are other equally pressing questions about stress, anxiety, survival, psychological survival, and the way the next day in the world will be shaped by us.
Mhm.
So I decided to speak about relationships because among all this havoc, we have to nurture them, and especially on multiple levels and across a wide range of contexts. And by the word relationships, I don't just mean something something compact that can be transferred from one place to the other, or something that we can put aside for some time and then remember again when times become normal. I mean relationships as a process, in the way we associate, we bond, we communicate, we reach out, we talk to each other, we support each other, our families, our friends, our neighbors, colleagues at work, and this, of course, our most intimate relationships, one-to-one partnerships.
Mhm.
So, on the one hand, we have been experiencing much closer contact with our family. It's closer than we were used to in the past, and even closer than mental health professionals would ever suggest. I mean, most of us these days spend 24/7 in closed spaces with family members, with no breaks in between, in reserved places where problems are seen through a magnifying glass, and this creates ruptures and breakups and sadness and pain sometimes. It can be fun other times, and it can be enriching other times, and it can give a new meaning to our lives. Yet we are all, we still want to get back to what we defined as normal in the past, each one in their own way. But there have been problems in different age groups. For example, children do not see their friends. Teenagers miss the way they learn to approach each other, and they miss on social skills as well. or college students miss college life and many times come to me with questions on how they ever going to make up for this lost time, which is really a question none of us can answer definitely or even describe how life will go back to normal after the coronavirus pandemic. Um, we as adults do not have me time anymore because there is no real choice on how to spend our time, and the boundaries between the home experience and our professional lives are hazy due to the fact that we work from home these days. And home is not just where the heart is, but has become something different. Home is really where the whole of our world lies these days. Of course, we have to be extra patient both with ourselves and other people and our shared experiences. I mean, we have to grasp greater um, issues here and come to terms with survival issues. So our strength and resilience are put to test, really. We are also challenged by worries concerning employment, of course, job loss, financial struggles, not enough opportunities to forget all those worries. So this has really have impacted the way we relate to each other and also the way to relate to us, our mental health. I mean, it's like living in an echo chamber where everything, our voice and our worries and our stress comes back to us very quickly and very um, in time consuming lapses that get us uh, thinking and thinking again and again the same things. So we stress and fear become our best friends these days. It's quite uh, it's a struggle, I would say. Let's talk about current relationships, the way people seek partners or romantic others. So most current relationships are made up of platform material, digital content really, and constructed questions and answers, answers that you can make up, have time on your own, and just pretend you're somebody else, which for some people gives them time to think a situation over. And sometimes people think that this really helps them to think things over, gives them time to get to know each other more deeply. Yet spontaneity is missed, and there is less flesh and blood time to get to know each other. So we don't see people in various social situations anymore, or even in different social premises. So here again, our experiences are limited. Some people, of course, as I said before, believe that this can be for the best because we can make use of this break and we can get realistic concerning our priorities and define who we really are and think that after all this nightmare finishes, we will be new and refreshed and we will grasp life wholeheartedly. But, and yes, these are indeed soul searching efforts. Yet it's not that easy because at this point, troubles and problems just get piled one on top of the other. And we need each other for support. We need each other for answers. It's very difficult to believe that we are human islands and that um, everything, we can get through everything on our own. So that's a pressing concern again. Um, Also, let's not forget the people who have found themselves completely isolated and even on the side of our everyday thoughts. Let's not forget older people. Let's not forget people who, okay, maybe at one point in their life decided that they wanted to experience life on their own, but then they um, their dream became like a Home Alone movie where everybody else is missing and nobody's allowed to touch anybody else, or invite people at to different situations, or have people come at home and just exchange experiences. So loneliness is said by experts to be the very next epidemic after the coronavirus pandemic, and will be left of us when the coronavirus nightmare finishes. I mean, we are going to be left with loneliness, really, and rediscovering of our everyday paths. There are studies who show resorted to substance abuse in desperation and panic. There are instances of other forms of abuse, such as family abuse, which is on the rise. And also, there is a mental health crisis for people who, for various reasons, cannot have access to programs and help when they really need services of professionals to treat them, to monitor them, to say a good word, to encourage them to keep going. I think we are all in a much greater need for support than we are able to realize right now. And I'm truly worried of how our communities are going to be shaped in the future. And I've used the word communities two or three times, especially because I believe that we are done with alone time, and now we have to re-enter the real world with all its struggles and all its challenges, yet all its comforts too, because comfort comes from the way we associate with each other and the way we can help and uh, give a helping hand to each other. So, as you can see, talking about relationships is not just one topic, it's a multi level seminar and workshop
Exactly.
event.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot of our thoughts and a lot of our planning for the future. That is both a good and a bad thing, because we do need to reinvent the way we come together in meaningful and respectful of our stories groups.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I believe that having opportunities in which to talk and discuss of little details about how we feel and how we want things to be in the future should be welcomed by all people, especially people like you that organize all these virtual talks and acquaintances with people from all over the world, because we learn from each other. So this also adds value to our experiences, and is a great opportunity for the future to um, be open in front of our eyes and to help us discover more about the world, actually, which is, when we say the world, is not just an abstract concept. I mean people, I mean each other with the world, with the word world.
How we can recreate the environment, a healthier environment in our house with our partner, because I've read so many times that the divorces are rising up, and that means that we didn't choose the correct person, or this stress reveals things that we couldn't deal, or we didn't know before. What is your opinion? Can we recreate a healthier environment with our partner, or not?
We can actually, but
Yeah.
I would say, as far as the answers you or the suggestions you gave before are concerned, that all of the above suggestions and thoughts are very correct because right now we're experiencing different realities,
Mhm.
but what is important is that we keep clear boundaries between each other, that we set up routines and try to follow certain routines, that we do not forget that we are separate people with needs and wishes and wants. So we should restructure our everyday lives to seem like the routine we used to have before the lockdowns. I mean, not just have everything on the loose, never asking for permission about anything, having children at all times of the day running around, or even us meeting and being, talking to each other without really defining moments of rest as well, of
Mhm.
work, of separate time to do separate activities or hobbies. Maybe go for a walk, find ways to ask questions about who we used to be before becoming a couple. It's like actually a psychoanalytic session, but a prolonged one, because we have to ask ourselves really hard questions
Exactly.
about who we used to be and how we wanted to be from now on.
Mhm. Mhm. Difficult questions with interesting answers, though, because we might find out that our reality, our normality, it wasn't something that we really wanted to be in it.
Mhm.
So our generation didn't experience hard times, such a war. Let's say this pandemic, it's the first difficult situation that our generation is facing. From your experience, uh, the feeling of we are you are humans and we won't live forever, made people, some of them, to believe in this and start being more kind to others. And there are some people that they don't believe in the pandemic or in the virus and all this, and made them, at least on social media, this is my only experience, to waiting for someone to post something that they don't like or agree, and go on him. And you can see posts with comments, hundred of comments, especially now with the things that in Greece, let's say, all these revealings. It's like the people, they are waiting to give this energy, to give it, or it's just the fear of death that they express in this way. What do you think?
It is the fear of death, definitely. The topic of death unites us all. And actually, that's a topic that I studied at the university, the terror management theory, which says that death is behind all our thoughts and the way we relate to the world, and behind all our decisions and all our strivings.
Exactly.
So, on the one hand, we have people who try to be really bold and make an effort and try to get over psychologically this pandemic, and other people express themselves in different ways. They protest, they shout, they make complaints, but behind all, both of them is death that uh, makes us all feel small and helpless at times, and at awe, and really there is we just realize that there are a few things that we can actually control, because the most important thing is health, is life, and we can only do a few things concerning those two. Just try our best, protect ourselves, take preventive measures, but that's all. You never know when you're going to be the next in line.
Exactly. And something last, can you share with us few tips about how we handle the kids in the house? Because I believe this is a very, very difficult part for the parents' daily routine, and somehow they permit more the video games, watching TV. But I don't know, even if you work with your kid and you study with him and you help him, how long you can give him or present him a good material? The kids needs to express their energy somehow. So what you suggest, how we can help the parents with their kids these days?
I would say we have to be patient and not have much expectations as far as our children's upbringing is concerned at this point, because yes, we work as well. Our children are frustrated. They have their own fears and anxieties, and they spend a lot of time in front of screens. So we cannot have a perfect family time at this point, but we can be the best we can, and we can also forgive ourselves for not um, being able to control everything. We don't have to do that anyway. Our first priority should be to make um, a good story out of what is going on around us, and um, have an answer to why we struggle and why we keep going and why we will never give up. Have talks like that with our children, and when things are not perfect at this time of year,
Mhm.
of period, we should just um,
Do our
get on
best.
with our life, do our best,
Mhm.
and hope for a better future.
Thank you so much for this advice. I believe the parents need to hear something like that. And my motto for this difficult period is to love ourselves, love yourself, because we didn't have the time to explore ourselves. And I want to keep the positive thing of this, that in the end, the new me, the new you that will come in in the hard with the hard process, doesn't matter. It will become happier and more
Mhm.
determined, the older self. And this is something that I believe we need to build on that, to become happy. Let's stay healthy, let's stay safe, but in the end, all the journey to end in more happiness. This is the basic for me. Hmm? to
That's
be to,
beautiful.
to be happy. It's difficult,
That's
but let's work
beautiful.
on
That's
this.
beautiful.
Thank you so much, Despoina
Mhm.
Limniotaki, for your lecture today. It was really an honor. Help you so much. Thank you so much for all these tips. Until next time, thank you everybody for watching.